So we are discussing 9th chapter 14th verse. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridhavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktaya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me, these great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. So, as this chapter is the most confidential knowledge, therefore, Krishna is telling about pure devotion and his pure devotees. Pure devotion is most confidential knowledge, no? So, secret, confidential knowledge is knowledge of soul and body. More confidential knowledge is knowledge of devotion, but mixed with desires. And most confidential knowledge is pure devotion, with no desires. Even no desire for peace and satisfaction and happiness. That also we don't want for Krishna. We just want to give him happiness. And if in our sufferings he finds some happiness, those sufferings are happiness for us. That's what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says. Bhakti Thakur says, Tumhara sevai dukh hoye jat, sahi to parama sukh. In your service, whatever is sufferings I achieve, that is extreme happiness for me. And Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Nityanta Leela, Krishna, if you give me sufferings, and if you become happy, I'll gladly accept it as happiness. And if you give me happiness, and if you don't like it, that happiness will be suffering for me. That is love. So Krishna is saying about his devotion, pure devotion, that is pure devotion, and pure devotees. He likes to chant glories of his devotion and his devotees. He doesn't like to chant glories about himself. Although he speaks about himself a little bit in Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada, in one of his conversations, he said that in Gita, Krishna doesn't speak about himself much. Some things, 10th, 11th, something in this. But because he is shy to do so. Anybody is shy to speak about himself, no? Is it? If I call Prabhupada Prabhu, come here and speak about yourself. Will you speak? It's difficult for anybody, even for a non-devotee. You can't keep on bragging about yourself on the stage, no? So Krishna doesn't do that, but Krishna is taking full opportunity to speak about devotion and his devotees. That he can do. And that is why in Srimad Bhagavatam, devotees are speaking about him. So it's a reciprocation. Gita, Krishna speaks about devotion and devotees. In Bhagavatam, bhakti and devotees, they glorify Krishna. So there's a reciprocation between Gita and Bhagavatam also. So Gita is talking to Bhagavatam, and Bhagavatam is talking to Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna says, who are his devotees? Who always chant his glory. Satatam kirtayanto mam. Satat means, I'll just go quickly so to give you a link what's happening in this chapter. Satat means always, but always doesn't mean that when you're sleeping you are chanting, of course. Satat means always when you are having when you're not engaged in lokik kriya, ordinary activities. That means satatam. And yatanta sadridavrata, and they are determined. Determined means what's happening to them? Okay. Determined means they follow rules and regulations of devotional life. And namasantascha mam bhaktya, although they are determined. Should I stop? Everybody seeing there. It's difficult for this. हाँ, इतना बड़ा होगा वहाँ उसमें चले जाएंगे वो पीछे. यहाँ तो ये ऐसे ही करेंगे. यहाँ तो यही होगा. So namasantascha mam bhaktya. My devotees, in spite of they are so determined, in spite of they are doing my devotion continuously also means without any materialistic desires, because material desires stop the flow of devotion, no? Ahitu kiya pratiyata. So although they are doing tivrena bhakti yogena, But still namasantascha mam bhakta. They are so humble to bow down before other devotees. They are not proud. And these people are attached to me. Nitya yukta upasate. So this is pure devotees. So if you want to become pure devotee, these are the three qualities. We have to serve Him without any desires, day after day, months after months, year after year. Time is a test. Time will test you. It depends how much time you are in devotion, and you are tested against time. So if you can do that, you are always with Krishna. Nitya Ukta Upasate. Somebody asked Prabhupada. Actually, I think so. I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj, he was asking Prabhupada. Prabhupada, when you went to America, you were so alone, and then devotees started meeting you. Prabhupada said, I was never alone. Krishna was always there with me. So Nitya Yukta Upasate. Nitya Yukt means they are always with Krishna. That means they are always remembering Krishna, and Krishna is always remembering them. That's the idea. So there are, you see this word Krishna Consciousness? Now what do you mean by Krishna Consciousness? This word is coming from one of the verses composed by Ramanand Rai, which Rupa Goswami quotes in Padayavali. Krishna Bhavana Bhavita Mati. You know that verse? Kuto api labdhyate. So Krishna Bhavana Bhavit Mati. Krishna Bhavana means Krishna Consciousness. Krishna Bhavana Bhavit Matihi. Prabhupada exactly takes the same term. But there are three levels of understanding of this word of Krishna Consciousness. Initial level is Krishna Consciousness. You are conscious of Krishna. Okay, good. This is easy to understand, no? You're thinking about Krishna. Second level is Krishna Consciousness. You are being remembered by Krishna. So Krishna is conscious of you. And that comes when He becomes pleased of you. So He starts thinking about you with love. That's the idea. Now also He's thinking about everybody, but not really with love, with mercy or official, but not very personal. And the third meaning of Krishna conscious, when we elevate more, then Krishna conscious means we can remember that Krishna is remembering me. That's the last level. That's difficult to attain. That is love. In love, you will be able to think what Krishna is thinking about you. That's the highest perfection of life. And you have to reach there. So, these Nitya Yukta Upasate. Nitya Yukta means this. That you can think what Krishna thinks about you. And then you can become associate of Him. So, we have to start from first, second, third level. This is what Kanisht Madhyam Uttam. That's what Bhagavatam says, no? So, that's the idea. So, this is pure devotee, okay. But everybody is not pure devotee. Everybody doesn't try to understand God just by devotion. People have their different ideas, different ways, no? Especially America, spirituality, this, that, so many ideas are there. So, Krishna talks about that in 15th chapter. And Krishna says, 15th verse, 9th chapter, others, Gyan api cha yagyena cha api anne. Anne means others. Now by this word anne, what does it mean? Others, no? By this word anne, Krishna is immediately informing us that they are not His. Previous verse He says my devotees, okay, devotees. But now He says anne, others. Immediately He has categorized these people into others. By this word only we can understand that they are not perfect. They are different. They are not my people. They are different people. I don't know what they are doing, but let me just put them. Whatever anybody is doing, they are except devotion. They can be put into three categories. And Krishna says others who are engaged in sacrifice by cultivation of knowledge, ekatvena, pritatvena, bahudatvena. If you take all people who are not worshipping Krishna, they can be put into three categories, three brackets. So, ekatvena, pritatvena, bahutvena. Krishna says, ekatvena, pritatvena, bahuda, vishvato, mukham. So, one category is ekatvena. People who want to understand God by understanding they are not this body, they are soul, but they come to this conclusion that I am one with God. Most of people who are preaching about religion and spirituality, they preach this. That is Mayavad, Advait. We all understand that, no? Are you understanding, all of you? You getting my point? No? Okay. So this is one thing. And the next thing is Prithatvena. Prabhupada says Prithatvena means who worship different demigods as gods, or different Devi Devtas. We can hear anyway, devotees are there. So different demigods have to say. Here I can say. Okay. Different demigods as gods. So Prithatvena. So they think Shiva is God, Brahma is God, Krishna is God. Prithak means different people as God. So this is one. This is most common in India. Polytheism. And third is Bahuda Vishmato Mukham. Some people worship Krishna in universal form, Virat Roop. Can you give an example of this? Anybody? Okay, can you give an example of people, can you give an example of Ekatvena, who worships God and me is one? What is example? No, any, but I need a name. For example, Shankaracharya, Advait Mat. They are like different kind of people. But typically, for example, Chinmayanand Swami and all these, Shivanand, they worship God, but the ultimate end is to become one with God. Ekatvena. And can you give example of Prithatvena? Whole India, North India. Can you give example of Bahuda Vishwato Mukham? People who worship God as universal form. Any example, live example. Do you know anybody like that? Who worship the universal form of Lord? Any sect? Any name of the sect? No. They don't worship Vishwato Mukham.
Nature is who worship nature?
No, here we are talking about universal form of God. Nature means abstract, that is different, no? So, have you heard about Arya Samaj? You heard that? They worship universal form, Virat Roop. So, who was the founder of Arya Samaj? You know that?
Saraswati.
Dayanand Saraswati. And his famous book is Satyarth Prakash. If you read that book, although Dayanand Saraswati, he said Vedas proclaim one God, and mostly Vedas describe God as universal form, Purusha Shukta, and like that. So they have this idea of Virat Roop in their mind. If you really talk to any Arya Samaji, at least externally. But they have different kind of funny ideas, but they have like this. Okay. So that's one example of universal form. Worshipping universal form, Arya Samaj. What I can think. Other examples you can think. But I don't think so there's any classical example of people worshipping universal form. It's mixed universal form and so. But it is only Yagyas. Just Yagyas, that's all. They're interested, fully focused, because they're worshipping universal form. So Krishna says, but it is I who am ritual. Ultimately, even if they don't know, they're worshipping God, Ishvara, they don't know the name, but actually they're worshipping me in the ignorance. They don't recognize Krishna as God, first of all. But ultimately they are worshipping me. Okay. Because I am the ritual. I am the sacrifice. Aham kartur, aham yagya. The offering to ancestors. Now people who worship the demigods, they also worship Pitr. Is it Karmkandis? So they do Shraddh. So people who worship ancestors, they are actually worshipping me. The offerings to ancestors, that goes to me, not to them, ultimately. You see? So everything ultimately going to Krishna. They know or don't know. That's okay. The healing herbs. I am the healing herbs. Why Krishna is giving the example? What about healing herbs? What is? For whom he is talking about? Who uses healing herbs? No, people who do yagyas, they use herbs. You know this? They use herbs, many herbs, to purify the environment, or you know this. So in this verse he's talking about karmkandis who do yagyas. I am the healing herbs. I am the transcendental chant, the mantras which they chant, or Vedas. That is actually for me. And there, I am the butter and the fire and the offering. See, he's talking about sacrifice. So the sacrifice is for me. They are ignorant, but actually that's worship is going to me. Okay, good. So that's one verse. Okay, next verse. Krishna says, Pitamasya jagato mata dhata pitama Vedyam pavitram omkara riksamajure vacha. I am the father of the universe. So people who are jnanis, who think that ekatvena, that everything is one, impersonalist, everything is Brahman, for them Krishna is saying that actually what they consider as one Brahman, that is I am the father, I am the mother, I am Om. Jnanis like to chant Om, no? Is it? Om. So that kind of people, ekatvena, they're chanting Om, they're thinking we will merge in supreme light, but actually that Om is me, that light is me. But they don't know. That's the problem. They don't know this, but that is me. I am Om. I am also Rig, Sam, Yajur and Yajurved. Okay, here is a puzzle. How many Vedas are there? 4. So why Krishna says only 3? What about 4th?
What is sitting here?
Oh, he is Atharva. That's why he's doing. Okay, so you are here. You are not in Gita. Okay, fine. So why? So Atharvan, your name is not there in Gita. Sorry. Krishna doesn't say. Krishna says Sam, Rig and Yajur. So your name should have been Rig Ved or Sam Ved something, but your name is not there. Why it's not there? Why doesn't Krishna say all 4 Vedas? Why he says just 3? No. Maybe, but no, exactly not. Why? Because Atharved is Vyasadeva, when he divided Vedas into 4 parts, Rig, Sam, Yajur, what was left from those, that was named as Atharved. That is all portion of these 3 Vedas, but what was, so the portion of Vedas which he couldn't really categorize, and he put it into Atharved, which is definitely dealing with materialistic sciences. Atharved is dealing with 4 subjects, basically. Dhanurved, art of military science, and what is Ayurved, art of health and body. Then Gandharved, music, entertainment, and Sthapatyaved, buildings, Vastu Shastra, Sthapatyaved. So this is all we need for society, no? Is it? First we need defense. That's the most thing, Dhanurved, for society. Then you need defense for body, Ayurved. That's the main thing, no? Health and security. And then next, if everything is fine, then you need entertainment, otherwise you get bored of. So Gandharved. And then 4th is Sthapatyaved. And then you need a decent place for living. Okay, fine, you know. We can do everything in park, but if you have a good place, it's nice. So 4 things. So Atharved, that's why Krishna doesn't mention Atharved. Atharved is derived from these 3 Vedas. The knowledge of Atharved is hidden in Rig, Sam, Yajur. The suktas or mantras of Rig, Sam, Yajur. So Krishna took out those, Vyasadeva took out those verses and formed Atharved. That is why Atharved is not mentioned. Okay, one more question. No. Okay, Vedyam Pavitram Omkara. Okay, fine. I'll ask you afterwards. Okay. Which Ved is most important? Rig, Sam or Yajur? Which is the most important Veda? Rig Ved, Yajur Ved, Sam Ved? Sure. What does Krishna says? Of all Vedas I am Samaved. Krishna says in 10 chapters. So Samaved is the most important Veda. That he is. And why Krishna mentions here Samaved? Because Samaved is used to defeat Shaivites. You know Shaivites? Who worship Shiva? So Krishna, he's saying, even Shivaites who are reading Samved, they think they are worshipping Shiva, but actually they are worshipping me. Because they don't know that Samved is actually directed towards Krishna. Samved was spoken by Garud, by the way. You know this? Samved is to be sung. You know this? You have South Indians. They sing ah like that. They keep on singing. So it was when Garudji, when he was flapping wings, then Samved was produced from his wings. That's Samved. Beautiful. So Krishna says, all these Jnanis like to read Vedas, they like to chant Om, Ekatvena, they like to become one with God, but actually they don't know this. All things are me. They are worshipping me, but they are ignorant. That's all. Is it? You're getting my point? So if some person comes here and you pay him, if he's an old man, you pay him obeisances, okay? And he goes back. And afterwards we tell you, he was Prime Minister of Africa. So what happens? So you didn't know, you paid him obeisances as others did. Some people were in knowledge, he was Prime Minister or President, you were not in knowledge. But nevertheless, you both paid obeisances. And he will accept it, no? You are ignorant or not ignorant. So both obeisances go to him. One is doing in ignorance, one is doing in knowledge. That's why Krishna is saying, all these jnanis, they don't know actually they are worshipping me. Okay, this is nice. Then Krishna says, 18th, Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Sharanam Shuhita. I am the goal, the sustainer, the master, the witness, the abode, the refuge, the most dear friend. I am creation, annihilation, basis of everything, resting place, and the eternal seed. This verse, Krishna is saying for people who are worshipping universal form. People worship universal form, Virat Roop. Krishna says, well, this Virat Roop, basis of this Virat Roop is also me. It is me. Because I am the goal, I am the sustainer, I am the master, I am the afford, I am the refuge. Just like this universe is sustaining everybody. Just like this universe is the abode of everybody. No? Yes, abode means staying place. Just like this cosmos is our friend. No? Nature is our friend. It's supplying us sunlight, water, food. And people who are worshipping this universal form actually are worshipping me, because all these gifts to nature I am giving. I am giving it, but they don't know. Okay, is it understood? And the next Krishna says, O Arjuna, I give heat, I withhold, send forth rain, I am immortality, I am also death personified. Both spirit and matter are in me. This again Krishna is speaking for people who are worshipping universal form. Spirit, matter, death, rain. Matthew, what is Matthew? Krishna. You didn't know, but he is Krishna.
It is a hurricane.
Yeah. So hurricane, so it's Krishna. That's a good thing.
That's a good one.
Hurricane. Okay, that's a good one. So this is Krishna. Devotees know this is Krishna because the power in Matthew is Krishna has put. So people might worship and fear Matthew, but we can understand behind this there is Krishna. So when we see, we remember Krishna. You see? So Prabhupada says, whenever devotee sees death, they don't get fear. They actually see Krishna in form of death. Prabhupada, in Leela you read, Prabhupada was in Calcutta. There was a bomb blast in World War II. And he was eating kachori. That's what Prabhupada was doing. And Prabhupada's wife was telling, okay, let's go in, like government made the bunkers. Prabhupada said, no, first I'll finish my kachori, that's okay. And bombs were all around. And he was saying, I could see that these bombs were actually Krishna. Because he was coming in form of death for everybody. So he was not afraid. So that's Krishna in 4 verses he says about these people who are not worshipping Krishna but who are doing their own speculated worship. But Krishna says ultimately they are worshipping me. That's okay. So anybody who worships Lord Shiva, they are actually worshipping Krishna. Because they offer their worship to Shiva and Shiva offers to Krishna. So you offer something to Devi and Devi offers to Krishna. Okay, that's okay. So from today you can start worshipping Shiva, Durga and everybody, no problems. But there's a problem. Don't live in between. You have to hear full chapter. What happens to them? That's the question. That's coming. That's coming. Okay. So now, Krishna says, fine. Krishna says, now what happens to these people? That's the point. They're worshipping me. Indirectly, they're worshipping me in their ignorance. So do they achieve me?
No.
That's the question. Do they achieve me? No. What happens to them? Krishna says here in 2 verses, 20-21. And Krishna says, Traivyadya mam somapaput papa yagge rishtva swargatim prarthyante te punyam asadhyam surendra lokam ashnanti divyan divideva bhogani. Those who study the Vedas, drink the soma juice. You know what is soma juice? You know?
It's liquid. Somras. No, it's not the somras. Actually, there's a bale of
It's somras, yeah. Who study Vedas, who drink som juice. Why Krishna says drinking som juice? Because their aim is to go to heavenly planets. They are worshipping demigods to go to heaven. Seeking heavenly planets, see? So you go to Jannat and you get Noor. What do they say? Noor? Hur. Yeah. Noor or Hur, and you can enjoy nicely. So that's, you go to heavenly planets. They worship me indirectly. See, Krishna is coming here. They worship all Jnanis who read Vedas. Drink soma juice means people who worship universal form yagyas for heavenly planets. They worship me indirectly. Purified of sinful reactions, they take birth on pious heavenly planets of Indra, where they enjoy godly delight. So people who worship demigods, people who are on the path of jnana, chant Om in caves, people who are worshipping nature, they all are worshipping me, but because they are worshipping me in ignorance, they don't attain me, they go to heavenly planets. Why? Because at least something is better than nothing. They are not doing sinful activities, no? At least, people who are worshipping demigods, Om, they are not entangled in sinful activities, so they go to heavenly planets, to Indra. Indralok they go, where they enjoy delights. So they are with apsaras, and in heavenly planets, you don't need to cook. Bhagavatam says, there's no kitchen. There are just rivers of mango juice. Yeah, you can go there. And what do they say? What is that? Okay, somras, apple juice, rivers of ghee. You just take mug and drink. No cooking. They don't cook. They don't take oil. Bhagavatam says all this. They don't take oils. I think when Urvashi, who was this? So who married that? Purura was there? Or Yati Maharaj, who was? I forgot. Purura, yeah. He married to Urvashi. She was there. So she asked him, so she said, I can stay with you on one condition, if you give me food prepared in ghee, not in oil. You don't take oil. Because there are rivers of ghee. And there in heavenly planets, houses move. They are not static. The houses keep on moving in air. You are in a house and they keep on moving. And trees are also moving. So every day you have a new scenery. See, it's nice, no? You're not fixed. It's much, much better than America. America is nothing. Zero. And then there is a sweet sound always in the atmosphere. Just like you see this Chinese are ting-ting, that rods are there.
Yeah.
Ting, ting, ting. So like that there's a sweet music going on in airs. And then you have apsaras. You don't need to marry. You can change apsaras and your friends. It's very enjoyable. No old age. No disease. That's all. As soon as you're born, you become big. You're not child and ignorant. You're born, you become big. And you enjoy it till the end. And when your time is finished, you're born here. No death like that. You just fall, finished. So that's a place, beautiful place. So they go there, they enjoy. But then what happens is, 21st verse, when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, they return to this mortal planet again. They come back again. Thus, those who seek sense enjoyment by adhering to principles of 3 Vedas, sense enjoyment by adhering to principle of 3 Vedas achieve only repeated birth and death. So the point is, people who are worshipping demigods, who are worshipping universal form, they are worshipping this without knowing this is Krishna. So if you don't know Krishna, your heart will be full of material desires. That's definite. Only if you know Krishna, you can be free of desires. So somehow they have desires in their heart, and they go to heavenly planets, fulfill their desires, and again they have to come back. But you go up, you go down, still you are in material world, no? In this building you go first floor, second floor, third floor, but still you are in the same building. You are not out of that building. So they're stuck there. But who worship me directly, who worship me, Krishna says, what happens to them? These people are also worshipping me, but indirectly. You understanding? Without knowing that this is going to me. But people who knows that all this worship goes to Krishna, so why don't I worship Krishna directly? Why just to go here and there? Krishna says, what happens to them? Now you see Krishna starts, but. He starts with but. He's again distinguishing. He said there anne in that verse. Others who don't do my devotion, these are these people, this happens to them. But. Now when you say but, this means you are distinguishing. So, ananya chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. But those who always worship me with exclusive devotion, meditating on my form, to them I carry what they lack and I preserve what they have. Yoga Kshema Mahamyam. What is this? Who you use this? LIC. They stole from Yoga Kshema Mahamyam. Yoga means what they lack I give, and Shema means what they have I preserve. I keep that. So that's what Krishna is. And Krishna will give example for that further. So this is about devotees of Krishna. They have mercy of people who worship Krishna directly. They are under His mercy, under His protection, and they go back to Him. Okay, simple. Now Krishna is talking about. Now there's a question: why people who don't worship Krishna directly, they don't go to Krishna? That's the question, no? Is it? People who are worshipping demigods, who are worshipping universal form, even if they don't know Krishna, Krishna says they are worshipping me indirectly. So, even if they are worshipping indirectly, why don't they go back to Krishna? Why doesn't Krishna call them? Okay, fine, anyway, they are doing something, no? And then Krishna answers that in next two verses. Why it happens? Why people who worship me indirectly, they don't come to me? What's the problem? What's the problem? What's the problem is, 23rd verse, those who are devotees of other gods, worship them with faith, actually only worship me. Krishna is saying, they worship me, but they do so in a wrong way. Now what do you mean by wrong way? Krishna says, avidhi purvakam. They are worshipping demigods, but they do so in a wrong way. What do you mean by wrong way?
Not thinking that they're worshipping Krishna also.
Okay, sometimes they might be worshipping demigods and they might be considering Shiva as God, but they don't know that this worship is going to Krishna. Ignorance. That's a wrong way. Okay, if they know that this worship is going to Krishna and they're worshipping Shiva, is this the right way?
No.
Why?
Because they're asking for material desires.
If they don't ask for material desires?
Because if they know it's going to Krishna, why don't you just worship Krishna?
Some people do that. They don't do. So why it's wrong?
It's not prescribed in Veda.
Yes, because no Vedic scripture recommends like that. It is not the desire of Krishna. All Vedic scriptures recommend directly going to Narayan, Vishnu and Krishna. To surrender to anybody else is a speculation. No scripture says. Scriptures might recommend that. Sometimes you might read some scriptures which recommend worshipping Shiva and Durga, no? Sometimes. But Madhvacharya says that is not the recommended process in Vedas. That is actually to confuse people. That's not there. It's not the process. Confuse people. People who are not sincere, they will be confused. People who are sincere, they will understand. Entire purpose and object of Vedas is to surrender to Krishna directly. Indirect process is not mentioned in Vedas. It's not there. So, what to do? So that is why people who worship Shiva, what they do? They take Krishna Prasad and give it to Shiva. Real worshippers. Like that they do. That is a proper vidhi. But these people who think we worship Shiva and this worship will go to Krishna, they only worship Shiva and in the mind they think it will go to Krishna. So they directly offer food to Shiva or flowers. But that's not the right thing. If you want to do the right thing, you have to worship Krishna something and then give the prasad to Shiva. And this happens in so you've gone to Ujjain, anybody? Or Nasik. So Nasik there's a Shiva temple. Which one?
Trimbakeshwar.
Yeah, Trimbakeshwar. There if you go, they offer to Krishna and then to Shiva. Bhubaneswar also. Yeah. Bhubaneswar also. That's a perfect system. So they are not doing with a perfect system. Avidhi Purvakam. Because of this, they get an offense. And because of this offense, they don't achieve me. That's all. They have their own ideas. They don't go according to my idea. So, Krishna says, if you don't like my idea, then why should you stay with me? That's all. Finish. If you don't like me, my ideas, then okay, you stay somewhere else, I'll stay somewhere else. That's all. Only people who like me and my ideas, they will be with me. Simple stuff, no? That's why Krishna says here, what is the problem with them? What do you mean by Avidhi Purvakam? He explains 24th verse. I am the only enjoyer and master of sacrifice. These people who worship demigods, they don't understand these two things. Ahami sarva jnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha. Krishna is a supreme enjoyer. They don't understand this. They might understand Shiva is Devi Devta and Krishna is God. But anyway, let me worship Shiva. Some people are like that, South India, no? Okay, or Devi is okay. Devi is a very big Vaishnavi. But anyway, let me worship Devi. And anyway, she is servant of Krishna. So this worship will go to Krishna. Even if they do like this, that's wrong. Because they don't understand that Krishna is an enjoyer of everything. He's a supreme enjoyer. You can't offer anything to demigods. Nothing should be offered to him. If your goal is to go back to him. If your goal is not to go back to him, then okay, you can do whatever you want. You can go to heavenly planets, take birth and death. That's your choice. Is it? So if you want to go to from here to Boston, you have to go north. If you want to go to Raleigh, you have to go to south. It's in south. North. What's in south? Okay. Want to go to Atlanta, then you south. Okay, you choose. So it depends on your goal. If your goal is birth and death and some peace, happiness and swarg, then no problem. You can continue worshipping demigods with this understanding that they are servant of Krishna. Worship them. And you might think it's correct. No? It's right way. It's somewhat right, but exactly not right. Not right in the sense that you will not achieve your goal. That's the point. This kind of worship is mentioned in scriptures. It is mentioned. But considering the goal, it is not right. You will not achieve your goal. So what's the point of doing that? No? So that's what Krishna says. Bhokta cha prabhureva cha. I am the master of everybody. I should be worshipped, not anybody. I am the enjoyer. You should give me pleasure. Don't give pleasure to anybody else. That's what Krishna is saying. Therefore, those who do not recognize my true transcendental nature fall down. So that's the vidhi they don't know. That vidhi of consciousness. Your consciousness has to be changed. The rule is you have to direct offer everything to Krishna, not middle, nothing. Then you will achieve love. Otherwise, you will achieve some pious credits. That's all. It's not wrong to do, but you will attain some pious credits. But again, you are in birth and death. No love. You lose the goal. You getting my point, all of you? So, okay. So I'll ask you one thing. Say whether it's right or wrong. Somebody is worshipping Shiva as God. Is it right or wrong?
Depends.
Right or wrong? Wrong. He's not God. No. That's wrong. It's wrong, definitely wrong. You can't worship Shiva as God. Okay, somebody is worshipping Shiva as God. Somebody is worshipping Shiva considering that he is servant of Krishna. But he is not worshipping Krishna, he is worshipping Shiva. Is it right or wrong?
No,
think properly. Is it right or wrong?
Depends on the goal.
It is right. Because it is mentioned in scriptures. He is servant of God, Krishna, and you are worshipping Shiva considering that he is servant of God. But it is right. But the vidhi is wrong. That's one thing. Considering the goal of life, love of God. You have to always keep focus on goal. It is correct. It is a Vedic path. No problems. You can do. But you will not achieve Krishna. You will not achieve love of God. You can go to the heavenly planets. You have to come back. That's your choice. It's not sin. Considering Shiva as God is sin. That's wrong. That's offense. You can go to hell. But worshipping him as servant of God, but not exactly worshipping Krishna, only worshipping him, not being interested in worshipping him, that's okay, that's pious. But Vedas, but you'll not attain Krishna. You understand? Okay. And if you worship Krishna and offer his Mahaprasad to Shiva, is it right or wrong?
Right.
That's right. That's actually super right. And then you can attain your love of God. No, you can attain Krishna. So you understand the difference. So most of the people, in India there's a problem. Either they consider everybody as God. So you bring them to this point that okay, you can worship Shiva and Durga and Ganesh, considering them as servant of Krishna. Sometimes you have to tell this because because they have a lot of resistance in India. If you go to especially villages, Bihar, Jharkhand, if you tell them Shiva is not God, you can die. Seriously. It's very bad in Bihar. So sometimes they become they don't have knowledge. They're just sentimental villagers. So what we say? We say, okay, fine, you continue worshipping Shiva, but understand Krishna as God and ask him devotion to Krishna. So it is Vedic process, no problem. They'll become pious, but still they will not attain Krishna. For attaining Krishna, you have to worship Krishna. And that why Krishna says that is avidhi purvakam. Vidhi is not correct. Vidhi in the sense of attaining love. You understand? Always keep goal in mind. Goal has to be there. Then you have to decide vidhi. So if your goal is heavenly planets, okay, let me ask. If your goal is going to heaven, then worshipping Shiva as servant of God and not worshipping Krishna, is it correct vidhi or wrong vidhi?
Correct vidhi.
Then it's correct because your goal is that and you will reach. But if your goal is love, then that vidhi is not correct.
Shiva is Mahadeva, right? So Shiva is Mahadeva.
Yeah.
So worshipping Shiva one goes to Kailash or heavenly planets?
Shiva, Kailash, where is Kailash? Do you know where is Kailash?
It's like it's still in the spiritual world.
Shiva is a complex personality. Like Shambhu, Shiva, Rudra. They might go to Kailash, they might go to heavenly planets. Kailash also comes in heavenly planets. It's considered a heavenly planet, but superior to heavenly planets. It is a heavenly planet. Durga, Kailash, all these places. This Kailash is a duplicate Kailash. Here, Badrikashram Kailash is there, no? That is duplicate. Real Kailash is in heavenly regions. This Badrikashram is also duplicate. Real Badrikashram humans cannot go. That's there somewhere in heavenly planets. It is inaccessible to human beings. You understand? So that's the point. Okay. So that's it now. So there's a problem, no? Avidhi Purvakam doing demigods and this funda is problem. And another thing is, worshipping demigods is very difficult also. To do yagyas, so much puja, no? So many things are there. And then if you want to become jnani and meditate and om, that's also difficult. If you want to chant om and all these things, then better remove your clothes, sit outside, tolerate cold and chant om. That's the process. Tapasya, that's process of jnana. That's difficult. All those paths are difficult. And even the fruit is heavenly planets, meager fruit and difficult process. But now Krishna says, my devotion, directly worshipping me, is easy and the fruit is higher. So Krishna says in 26th chapter, how easy is to worship me? Patram pushpam phalam toyam, is everybody knows? Yome bhaktya prayachati, tadam bhakti upritam ashnami, atmana. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, a water, I will accept it. So Krishna is saying how easy my devotion is. Anybody can do. But everybody cannot pursue the path of jnani. They cannot sit and do an tapasya. Everybody cannot worship demigods. In real sense, you have to do yagyas and homas and so many things. It's not possible always. And universal form, forget it. But devotion is so easy. Anywhere you can put my photograph of a leaf, flower, fruit and water. So Krishna is not saying that you only offer me leaf, flower and fruit. That's not the idea. He is just giving an example to help us understand it is easy. And I am accessible. This word accessibility is very important. Whole Sri Sampradaya is based on this word. What do you call accessibility as in Sanskrit, in Hindi? Well, it should be easy, no? In Hindi, what do you call? Anybody is accessible. Prapte? No, easily accessible. Yeah, Sulabh. Sulabhya. If you read Ramanuja commentaries, this is one word which will come again and again and again and again. He is Sulabh. You can easily get him. If your vidhi is correct. If your vidhi is not correct, then there is a problem. Then you will not get. Just like you are hearing a lecture, just by hearing you can get him. So easy, no? But those children are not interested, they will not get. Simple. It's so easy, but anyway, they are not interested in that. So you will not get. That's all. So Krishna says, if you are interested, it is easy. If you are not interested, then that's your problem. You can follow any other vidhi with any other goal that you can do, but the result is different. Always remember. So, vidhi is very easy. Patram pushpam phalam toyam eva bhaktya richati. Tadahamam bhakti upritam ashnami prayata atmana. And Krishna uses what the word uses. Prayata atmana. See, what's the meaning of prayata atmana? See there. What Krishna says. From one in pure consciousness. That's the trick here. The process is easy, but application is difficult. That's the point. It is easy, everybody can do, children can do. But to purify our consciousness, that's the difficult part there. Prayata atmana. Prayata atmana. That's what Krishna adds this word. Prayata atmana means endeavoring. Prayatna. You have to put some efforts to purify your consciousness. Otherwise, process is easy. No problem. I'll accept it. No. So Vidur's wife, she offered that bananas covering. Krishna took. So easy, no? So easy. But he accepted from Vidur's wife. If we offer him, then he probably is going to slap us. Probably he will not even slap us. He's not going to do anything with us. Yeah, if he slaps us, then we are fortunate, but he's not going to do anything. He'll just be standing like this. Nothing is going to happen. That is why when Mahaprabhu used to have darshan of Jagannath, and so it is mentioned in Chaitanya Chandrodaya, when Mahaprabhu went to Sakshi Gopal, you know Sakshi Gopal? So when Mahaprabhu went there, and he saw him, and he became very happy, but then he started weeping. He became very sad. So he became happy because he had darshan of Sakshi Gopal. At that time, it is said Sakshi Gopal, he was not having flute in his hand. Like that Pandit, he forgot to put the flute. So Mahaprabhu saw him, and he saw him and he was thinking, Krishna, you are so merciful that to talk to your devotees, you have put your flute aside. He was thinking like that. He was not thinking this pujari is complete nonsense, he has forgotten. No, they don't think like that. And then he became sad. Because he was thinking, okay, fine, you have put your flute to talk to your devotees, but you're not talking to me. So that is devotion. A devotee knows that it is so easy to access Krishna, but still he is not accessible to me. Why? Because I am not pure. So devotee becomes both happy and sad when he sees Krishna. This is what Chaitanya Charitamrita Ante-lila, it has to say this. Happy, when devotee sees Krishna, what are his sentiments? He becomes happy. You all become happy, no? And he also becomes sad, because he is not interacting with you. He has interacted with Sakshi Gopal. He was speaking with that Brahmana. We know that, no? But he's not speaking to us. There's a problem with us. That's why he's not speaking to us, no? There has to be a problem, otherwise he'll speak with us. And that's the problem. So he becomes sad. Devotee then becomes fearful. Fearful because he thinks, because Krishna is not speaking with me, probably he is annoyed with me and he'll reject me. So when a devotee sees Krishna, there's a mixed emotion. That Chaitanya Charitamrita Ante-lila, it's explained. And that's why Mahaprabhu used to faint. Devotee sees Krishna, he faints. Because there's such a mixed, he's happy, sad, fearful. Mind cannot understand what's happening. Finish. That is, in this word, Prayatatmana. In this word, Krishna is telling about the feelings of a devotee. That purified consciousness. With what consciousness is serving Lord. I was just commenting on this word. If you think about this word, you will understand what Krishna is trying to say. Okay, so this is devotee. Devotion is very easy. Sulabh. Worshipping demigods difficult. Fruit also useless. But worshipping me is easy. And also Krishna says, worshipping me is easy because only by simple offerings I am pleased. And it is also easy because while doing your daily activities you can worship me. That's also you can do. You can't be jnani and simultaneously doing your job. Sorry, for that you have to leave everything. You can't do yagyas and simultaneously go to job. That's a different arrangement. But for devotion, even in ordinary activities you can worship me. How? Krishna says, 27th. Yat karoshi adashnosi juhoshi dasiyat yat tapasya 𝗂𝗿. Whatever you do means you start killing people. Krishna says whatever you do. So what does that mean? Whatever you do. Why Krishna is saying?
Daily activities.
So whatever you do within the rules of Vedic scriptures, that's assumed. Whatever you do within the premise of Vedic rules and regulations. If you cross that rules and regulations, then you are not under me. Is it? Just like these children, we say, whatever you do in that room, that's okay. We'll tell, whatever you do, that's okay. But if they come out, then forget it. Then they'll give a big beating, Then you can. So whatever, it is presumed that you are doing under rules and regulations. Because anybody who is not following Vedic rules and regulations, he is not even a human. He is an animal. And you don't instruct animal. Is it? Do you tell an animal whatever you do? No, you say to a human. That is why Krishna is saying whatever you do, instruction is given to a human. And human, the first qualification of human is he should be following Vedic scriptures, Vedic authority, according to Bhishma, Srimad Bhagavatam, qualities of a human. So Krishna says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer, give away, whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. This is a very beautiful verse, and if you read the commentary, you will come to know. But there are many.
We Vaishnavas chant this. We chant Mahaprasad Govinda.
They chant this? Oh, good. Before taking food, huh? I didn't know. Okay, that's nice. Yat karoshi adashnosi yat juhosi dhati yat tapasya 𝗂𝗿 tat krishvat. Very nice. Whatever you do, so that's the idea there. So in your life, whatever you should adjust your life in such a way that it is according to scriptures. And then when you are doing those activities, you can think in your mind that because I am following orders of Krishna, let it be offered to Krishna, like that. Krishna. So whatever you do, another meaning can be whatever you do, you offer it to me. You do your job, give that money. Money is the product of that job. Give some portion. Eat, offer it to me. Prabhupada says, whatever you give it to me. What do you mean by this? Dasiyat. What do you mean by that? What do you give to me? Charity. So charity has to be given to devotees only. Charity should not be given to ordinary people. You can give. It's not that we are hard-hearted. But if you really want to give charity and get a proper result, the goal, love of God, in that goal, then give to devotees. So Mahabharata says, best charity is to give to Krishna. So when you are offering bhoga, when you are offering naivedyam to Krishna, food, then that is called charity according to Mahabharata. You are giving charity to Krishna. You understanding? You getting my point? Is it okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. But I am not saying correct thing. There's a problem with this statement.
Yeah, because it's from him, right?
Although Mahabharata says it's the best charity, but we have to understand that we are giving Krishna's thing back to Krishna. So we don't consider it as charity. We consider it as an offering of love. That's a difference. Okay. So that's fine. Okay, so Krishna says fine. So devotion is so easy. You chant, you do what Krishna, and then in normal life you connect everything to God. So easy. What's the problem? So easy. But now Krishna says, so what happens if you do like this? In this way, you will be freed from bondage to work. And it's inauspicious and auspicious results. See? For demigods, for jnanis, they were going up and down, that's all. Like Trishanku. They are hanging in between. But for devotees, they are freed from bondage of auspicious and inauspicious results. They are freed from both pious and sinful activities. Pious spirits will also go. So be careful. Not only sins will get dissolved, pious spirits will also get dissolved. You will be like zero. All good activities you have done in past life, it will become zero. That's the... If you think, people will be afraid if they listen, no, okay, sins are okay, but I've done so many good things, they become zero. Whatever that, Krishna says, everything becomes zero. Only one thing remains, that is love for me, no? Actually, one of Islamic saint, he sang in a poem that when I started loving you, all my sinful activities and past activities and my desires dissolved in that love. It melted away in that love. So love is that fire which will burn everything. Fire doesn't see whether it is good or bad. Doesn't see. So love is like that. And your heart will be full of only love, nothing, neither good, neither bad. You will not want to do bad, you will not want to do good. Both things. With your mind fixed on me in this principle of renunciation, you will be liberated and will come to me. Principle of renunciation, Krishna says. Perfection of renunciation, last chapter. You will come back to me. Okay, so the fruit of devotion is going back to Krishna. It's easy. The fruit of pritatvena, bahuktatvena, demigods, jnanis, universal form, that's difficult, and the result is heavenly planets and birth and death. So which fool is going to choose that path, no? Just worship Krishna. But there is a problem. Everybody still, even if they know this, still they will not do. You see? Even after hearing all these things, even after understanding, still people will not surrender to Krishna. They will stick to their own path. So what happens? So Krishna then is saying in 29th chapter, well, for them results are different, for my devotees results are different. Krishna says, but I am not partial. It's their problem. Even if after knowing they don't do these things, it is their problem, it's not my problem. That is why they get a different result. So Krishna says, I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. Some people can say, Krishna, you are doing partiality to your devotees because I love you. So you give them your planet. And other devotees do not love you, they are doing their own puja, so they are not allowed to enter your planet. And they are in birth and death, so you are partial, no? It seems partiality, no? I've loved somebody, okay, come inside. I don't love, stand outside. Says, come on, what's happening? Krishna says, no, I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, I am also a friend to him. So Krishna says here, if I quote Sanskrit, you read this verse, but if I quote Sanskrit, Krishna says, my partiality to my devotees is not dushan, it is bhushan. You understand bhushan? It's an ornament, it is not an impurity. People who love me, I love them. People who don't love me, I don't love them. Simple. It's not partiality, no? It's for tit for tat, no?
But God can't be like that.
Huh?
But God.
No, Krishna can be like that for our benefit. Because if you don't love him and if he starts loving you, you will lose the value of love. Is it? That's going to happen, no? And that's why children spoil. They're spoiled. Because parents keep on loving them and they don't do anything, still they love them. The modern culture, no? Pampering. But previously it didn't used to happen. If children were not correct, if they didn't behave properly, no love. We're out. It happened like that, no? It used to happen like that. So if we were nice, parents were nice. If we were not nice, parents used to give us a lot of beating and get out. So automatically child will understand. If I behave like this, I will get love of parents. If I don't behave like this, I will not get their love. So automatically they are conditioned to do right things. And that was good. That is why Chanakya Pandit says, below 14 years, you should have a stick for a child. In America, you can beat children? No. It's dangerous. 911. They know this?
Yeah, of course.
They know?
Yes.
सबसे पहले स्कूल में यही बताया जाता है.
It's a school. Oh. And that's a big problem, huh? But one thing you can do, even more than beating, there is another punishment which is more actually torturous. Don't talk to them. And that is more torturous to the mind rather than meeting. That is very difficult to take it. Huh?
Because they are involved in so much video games.
I don't know. Really, they'll be happy?
They'll be happy.
I don't think so. Maybe I don't have this experience.
Take the internet, then probably.
Quit their internet.
Okay, fine. Yeah, take the internet and then don't.
Don't use the channel.
Okay, yeah, do like that. Yeah.
So many ideas.
But don't talk to them. Avoid them. Okay. So
He has the best answer. He just send it to them. Him.
okay, you.
He's a taekwondo teacher, so he'll teach.
Okay. So that was a Vedic culture. That Krishna does like that. If you love him, he'll love you. If you don't love him, he will not love for our benefit. So that we understand that loving him is good. Not loving him is bad. Otherwise we'll suffer. So Krishna is the best teacher. And that happened in class, no? Like children sometimes think teacher is neglecting me. No? People think, no? She is neglecting me, and it's very bad feeling. And in fact, teachers do like that in India. Children who are very mischief, you first neglect them. You don't really beat them first, because if you beat them, then they'll become what do we say?
Rebellious.
Yeah, rebellious, or otherwise they'll become what's that word? Deed बन जाते हैं. बस फिर कहेंगे मार लो, देखा जाएगा. So generally teachers don't beat first. First advice is neglect them, and then it's a torture, and then he understands. Am I okay? It's said like that. Teachers do like that, at least in India. Okay, so that's Krishna says, I am equal, but people who love me, I love them. People who don't love me, I really don't love them. I actually neglect them. I'll help them, but as far as love is concerned, no. That's okay. That's their problem. It's not my problem. So Krishna is not partial. Okay. And then Krishna says, people who love me, I love them. And what is the symptom of love? The symptom of love is that What is the symptom of love?
Reciprocation.
Okay. So it is symptom of love is partiality. You understand? Krishna comes to this point. That's symptom of love. So Krishna says, yeah, because I love them, I love him, and symptom of love is partiality, so I am partial. That's a side effect of love. I am not partial, but that's a side effect. What can I do? That's not in my control. You understand? So Krishna says here, 30th verse, because I am partial to people who love me. Krishna says, even if one commits the most abominable action, if he is engaged in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination. Even if my devotee does most sinful activity, I will forgive him. That is symptom of love, partiality. So you see, Krishna is not partial and Krishna is partial both. You understand? Officially he is not partial. He is not partial. But because he loves his devotees, because he loves them, automatically it's a side effect that he becomes partial. You understand? Now you understand the thing. That is why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, partiality is not dushan, it is an ornament. It is an ornament. Ornament is an accessory, no? It's an accessory. So wife is love and ornaments are accessory. It will make it more beautiful. So that's the idea. That's how this dynamics is going on. So Krishna forgives even most abominable activity if a devotee does unconsciously or out of habit, not willfully. This verse is important. Apiche suduracharo bhajte mam ananya. This word ananya is important. If my devotee is doing my devotion sincerely, but if something happens out of habit, then I'll forget. But if you do willfully, if you say, okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, okay, where is Kampa Kola? Hare Krishna, and daily you are doing like that. Or maybe some people, you know how they chant Hare Krishna, they keep on seeing serial Krishna Krishna, Hare Ram. Oh, nice, Hare Krishna, something, I don't know how they chant, but many devotees do like that. I have seen. It's a very bad habit. You're doing a wrong thing, but that's out of your willful decision, and then Krishna will not protect you. That's not going to happen. So don't do that, or don't do Hare Krishna cell phone. Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram. What's this? Hare Krishna Hare. What's this? It's complete nonsense. If you want to see something, stop it for some time. Stop your chanting, see it, and then again resume back. No, that's a good idea. But don't do this. So that's what Krishna is saying. Out of habit or unconsciously, if something goes wrong, no problem. I'm going to forgive you. No problem. Don't fear. I'm behind you. My invisible hand is behind you. I'm there for you. And then Krishna says, 31st, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. So quickly a devotee, because of mercy of Krishna, he'll become okay. All his habits will go. So that is why Krishna is called Hari. He steals all your bad qualities. He'll take everything. And I was just reading a Subhashitani, and it is said, that's why Krishna is called thief, butter thief, no? People whose heart are, devotees whose heart are like butter, Krishna comes to steal that. That is one of the song of Madhvacharya. So his guru, Madhvacharya's guru, he says that, oh Krishna, let my heart become like a butter. So that, because you're butter thief, and then you'll come in my heart and steal my butter. But if your heart is like a stone, that butter pastime is to show this. People whose heart is like butter, I go to them and steal that. So butter means drutta chitta, evam priya swanama kirtaya, jatanurago drutta chitta uchchai. Bhagavatam says, people who chant his names, who do his devotion, their heart becomes drutta. Drutta means butter, melt. It melts. Why? The meaning is it becomes free of all sins. Heart which is full of sins, it is hard. Heart which is full of offenses, that is hard. Heart which is full of desires, that is hard heart. It's like a stone. So heart becomes, whatever heart means, heart becomes free of sins, desires and offenses. And starts melting. And your shirt will become wet, you know. You will see one day, Hare Krishna, oh my God, what happened? Might become wet. I don't know. But that's, Mahaprabhu's shirt used to become wet. You know this? Not because of tears. When heart melt, it doesn't come out of hair, it comes out of eyes. That's your heart, that's not tears. That's not ordinary, that's your heart which is melting. And so Mahaprabhu used to weep and his whole shirt used to become wet. Really his heart was melting. Really. That really, if your heart melts, you get tears in your eyes. So it's not just a feeling. There's a symptom of that. Definite symptom. So that, and then Krishna says, 3 verses more, Krishna says, O son of Pritha, those who take shelter in me, though they be lower birth, woman, Vaishya and Shudra, can attain supreme destination. Krishna says jnana process, yajna, they are generally for brahmanas, no? For people who are of high caliber. Everybody cannot do. But people who are of lower birth, who are not really exalted in their consciousness from birth, no? We are not exalted in consciousness from birth, no? We were playing toys. But Dhruva was exalted. He just went to forest. That's exalted state. Or Siddhartha, he just went. So people like us, Shudras, Vaishyas, women because they are generally attached to their children. So even if you are in any destination, any body, any place, you can come to me. No other process will provide you such a facility. So devotion, you see, most Krishna is praising is pure devotion. My pure devotion is easy, sulabh, and the result is you attain me, no birth and death, you become pure. And third is, anybody can do. It is open to anybody. Anybody. You may be Brahman, Shudra, Vaishya, Kshatriya, blah blah blah. You may be animal. And Rupa Goswami quotes a verse for that in Padyavali. Rupa Goswami says anybody can do devotion. So even animals can do devotion. What is example? Okay, Gajendra. Even in womb you can do devotion. Yeah. The common example is Parikshit or maybe Prahlad also. Okay. Even in old age you can do devotion. What's the example? Huh? Who is that? Bhishma. Okay, and
Even Ajamil, because
Ajamil. That's a classical example. Not Bhishma. Bhishma was still strong. Okay. Even as child you can do devotion. Now here, Prahlad and Dhruv. Okay. Even in ghostly form you can do devotion. As a ghost, what's the example? Gokarna. Yes. Dundubi, that was. Dundubi. As a ghost you can do devotion. So, and what else? Rupa Goswami example. Even as a, so even if you're illiterate you can do devotion. Example. From Bhagavatam. Not like this. No, Bhagavatam, uneducated.
all the gopis.
From Bhagavatam. Okay, yeah. You can give the example. Vrajvasis, they were not super educated. Any other example if you want to give? Leave Vrajvasis aside. No. Okay, find that example in Bhagavatam. It's a classical example. Okay, find that. Okay, fine. Now I'll ask. Even if you are the most despised person, most criticized and neglected person, and you are absolutely useless in the eyes of society. Okay, Jad Bharat. Okay, Jad Bharat. He was absolutely useless in the and also uneducated. Okay, even if you are the most sinful, still you can do devotion. Huh? Okay, Ajamil is one example. From Bhagavatam. Okay, fine. That's okay. Okay, future Bhagavatam. Okay, for example, classical example. The most sinful, most people hate these people. Pingla, prostitute. People hated her. Prostitute, who likes them? Even you can do devotion in that. Even if you're the most poor, you can do devotion. Sudama. Even if you are frustrated in life and suffering like hell, you can do devotion. What's the example? You are suffering daily. People are from Bhagavatam. No, people are throwing stones. People are blaspheming you. Your relatives have neglected you. You have no property, nothing, and you are just roaming, and still you can do devotion. No? Bhagavatam. Avanti Brahman. People were throwing stones at him. They were urinating on him. They were chastising him. All his house went, everything. Still you can do devotion. So, even if you are the most rich person, you can do devotion. Yudhishthir, Ambarish, kings, you can do devotion. So, in all conditions, you can do devotion. Rupa Goswami gives a list of this. So, everybody is covered, no? Everybody is covered. There is nothing left.
Prabhupada says in his introduction to Hare Krishna Mahamantra, even a dog can chant.
Even a dog? Yeah. Even a dog can chant, yeah, see? America has so many dogs, huh? You can ask them to chant. Okay, so that's what Krishna says. Those who take shelter of me, even they be of lower birth, higher birth, whatever, they can attain me. Krishna says, how much more this is so of righteous Brahmana, the devotees and saintly kings. Therefore, having come to this temporary miserable world, engage in loving service to me. No matter what you are, higher, lower, you can attain me. So it's such a easy process. So why don't we do it? And that is why Krishna says, how to do my devotion now? Krishna says, it's very simple. Krishna told, Patram Pushpam Phalam Doyam, Yat Karoshi Yadashnoshi. But now Krishna says a universal principle. Those things were details. What to do, mechanism. But now he's talking about principle of devotion. He is saying, principle is, engage your mind always in thinking of me, become my devotee, offer obeisances to me, worship me, be completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. So simple. So Krishna says, if you cannot put your mind into me always, that's difficult, no? So what you do, become my devotee. Become my devotee means follow rules and regulations. Chant Hare Krishna, all these things. If you cannot follow rules and regulations, somebody might say, new person, I cannot follow all these things, what should I do? Krishna gives the option, offer obeisances to me. At least, offer obeisances to me means at least come and hear to devotees. That is real offering obeisances. Prabhupada writes here in Bhagavatam also, you are listening to me, you are offering obeisances to Krishna. You understand? That's the meaning of obeisances, no? You go and pay obeisances. So what do you mean by that? Okay, Krishna, you tell me, I'll listen. Okay, मैं आपका सेवक हूँ, आप मेरे स्वामी हैं, नमस्ते तभी तो करते हैं, तभी तो करेंगे नमस्ते, आप जो बोलेंगे हम करेंगे. So Bhagavan, he will not speak from his photograph. He'll ask his devotees to speak. So if you cannot follow rules and regulations, just sit and listen. At least do this. If you cannot listen even, then what to do? Then Krishna says, worship me. Mam namaskuru. Actually, yeah. Madhyaji mam namaskuru. He says, worship me. So worshipping me and namaskar. So actually first he says, worship me. So Prabhupada did that. So if he cannot become my devotee, worship me. So worshipping me means listening to devotees. Worshipping Krishna and worshipping devotees is one. Worship means listening. And if you don't have even time to come and listen, no problem. Mam namaskuru. At least you should know I am God. That's the idea. Offer namaskuru. You should at least, minimum you should understand, I am the Supreme God. There is none equal, none superior to me. At least this knowledge has to be there. Otherwise you're going to hell. If you don't know who am I, you will fall down. So Krishna gives option. You see, Krishna is so nice. He doesn't say, okay, think of me always. No, he doesn't say, because he knows it's not possible. He gives options. And that is why his whole idea is to make devotion as simple as possible. As simple as possible. That is his idea. And that is why Krishna says, my dharma, Bhagavad dharma, that's the best of all religion. That's why Krishna says, abandon all religious principles, surrender to me. If you accept my opinion, you will have success. That's 9th chapter, most confidential knowledge. It was really most confidential, no? Is it? That's why I was explaining little in a difficult way, to make you feel it is most confidential. Otherwise you will think it's so easy. Why it was named most confidential? Anyway, Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Any questions? It's done. Finished. In Yagyas? Yeah, you have to give. But you give Mahaprasad of Vishnu. First offer to Vishnu, then demigods. It's not direct. Never direct. In true Yagyas, if you go to Madhva Sampradaya, they do like that.
If the Vedas are telling, recommending demigod worship for confusing people, an argument would be that we accept whatever the Vedas.
No, they are not telling for confusing people. I am talking about Puranas, where demigods are mentioned as God, like Shiva Puran, Devi Puran. That's for confusing people. But Vedas don't mention worship of demigods. Vedas use the names of demigods to worship Vishnu. That's a different take there altogether. Vedas, language of Vedas is Paroksh Bhasha. So they're using the names of Indra, Agni, Shiva to worship Krishna. For example, in Vedas it is said Satyam Shivam Sundaram. Is it? So here Shiva means what? Purity. It's not for Shiva. The name of Shiva is used to praise Krishna. And that Krishna likes. So if you say Krishna is Agni, the first sukta of Rig Veda is Agni Sukta. Hey Agni, you are the greatest. Agni is one of the name of Krishna. Agni means leader, powerful. So there are no names of demigods. It seems like that. It is not there. That is called Paroksh Bhasha. Krishna likes that. Okay?
And Puranas, why should they say that?
But there is a big story for that. Krishna wanted to confuse people in Kali Yuga. That was his plan. Yeah, I am writing a book on this. Why Krishna wanted to confuse people. Title is this. Book. I am writing a book on that. Hindi mein, by the way. I'll publish in Hindi. India is this a problem. So the name of the book is Andho ke Piche Andhe. That's it. Prahlad Maharaj. So why he wanted to confuse people? There is a big plan. There are around 12 reasons. It was a big plan of Vishnu. And he involved Shiva. He was himself doing, and these things were happening. But you are listening. But one answer to that is, summary of it is that the demons, they vowed that in Kali Yuga they will take birth in Brahman family. They vowed. When Vishnu killed him in the fight, Samudra Manthan, you know this, no? Samudra Manthan, Vishnu killed demons. So these demons, they vowed we will come in Kali Yuga in the family of Brahmanas. And that's what is happening. All Brahmanas, they started exploiting, no? That's why all these Brahmo Samaj and all these movements, caste system. So Vishnu told Shiva, you see, it is impossible to kill them now. Because they are Brahmanas. They are in Brahman family. People call me as Go Brahmana. If I kill them on the plea that they're demons, people will not understand. I know that they're demons, but how does people know? So the only way to do this is, and these Brahmans will read Vedas. And they told, we will read Vedas and spoil everything. They knew the root is Vedas. If you abolish Vedas, Vishnu is finished. So they came with this vow. So Krishna told, better rather than they spoiling Vedas, we will spoil the message first. So what is going to happen is, they will already get a wrong information. They will read a wrong information. They will preach wrong and they'll go to hell themselves. they'll kill themselves. That's the only solution. And that's why Krishna told Shiva, you declare yourself as God. Krishna told Shiva. And he told Vyasadeva that you please write Shiva Puran and say Shiva is God. And I will also come and establish Rameshwaram, Shivlings and all these things. And people who are atheistic and demoniac in nature, they will be attracted towards this wrong philosophy. People who are sincere, pure, they will come to me. So that was a big plan, and there were many curses and Gautam Muni, things were involved. That's there. Okay, we'll finish it. Last, okay.
Like unconditional devotional service to Krishna, somebody can